And welcome to the special edition of Hannity this Friday night. Biden's bribery allegations. Now, tonight, the president of the United States, Joe Biden, has been accused by a credible FBI source of taking foreign cash in exchange for policy decisions. In other words, you call that bribery. There is a mountain of evidence now to back up these very serious claims, including circumstantial evidence, hard evidence from Hunter's own laptop. We have bank records, we have text messages, eyewitness accounts, whistleblower testimony, and other recordings apparently exist. And yet this week, the Biden DOJ, Hunter Biden's attorney, they were working hand in hand to sweep these allegations under the rug forever and keep it from you, the American people. But thanks to a responsible federal judge, it did not go according to plan. Now, Hunter's sweetheart plea deal was rejected. Now, a federal investigation into potential FARA violations, other felonies remain active, and the Bidens are reportedly distraught. They should be. It is so bad that Joe Biden is now taking the next 10 days off. Too stressful for him. He's going to hang out on the beach and try and move his beach chair all by himself and recuperate. The writing is on the wall, and decades of what is disgraceful conduct now finally catching up with the Biden family syndicate. Take a look.
What do you call someone this weak? Someone caught in a bribery scandal that made them millions, complicit in a government cover-up, and uses your government to get special deals for his family? You call them Joe Biden.
All right, Joe's house of cards is now crumbling around him. Now, this week in court, Hunter directly contradicted his father when he admitted to taking money from China. Now, that was something Joe had vehemently denied in one of the debates. In other words, Joe got caught in a lie yet once again. Now, meanwhile, Hunter's lawyers have now reportedly been banned from calling the county clerk after they were accused the night before the hearing of misrepresenting themselves on a phone call to the clerk. And according to the allegations, a member of Biden's legal team actually pretended to represent a Republican congressman in an attempt to get evidence removed from a recent amicus filing, a court that was on the court docket. But the shady behavior didn't stop there. Look at this. This was the key paragraph this week that the judge rightly honed in on and caught wind of. And it's paragraph 15, buried deep in the DOJ's plea agreement with Hunter Biden, gifting the president's son with broad immunity for a variety of serious drug, gun, tax crimes. But that paragraph was not provided to the judge until that day, until she asked for a copy moments before the hearing. This is, frankly, appalling behavior from Hunter's legal team and Biden's DOJ. But, of course, the plea deal itself is also a disgrace. What, 2 misdemeanor tax violations, a deferred gun charge after years of selling access to corrupt foreign nationals. They weren't paying for the crack addict Hunter Biden's vast experience at any of the deals that he was doing. He didn't pay his taxes. He was writing off sex club memberships and payments to prostitutes on his taxes, and smoking mountains of crack cocaine, lying on a gun application, brandishing that gun illegally before losing it in a dumpster across from a high school. Thank God a good Samaritan found it and handed it over to the police. But let not your heart be troubled. Hunter remains in good standing with the bar in D.C. Amazing. And by the way, most of Hunter's possible financial crimes not only implicate himself, it implicates the big guy, his dad, the president, Joe. Now, clearly, the DOJ is not working for you, the American people. Now their main purpose is to protect Joe Biden, his son Hunter, the Democratic Party. It is now corrupt, it is politically biased, and it is taking a wrecking ball to the rule of law, our Constitution, the idea of equal justice under the law, and equal application of our laws. Look at this brand new op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. IRS whistleblower, by the way, a Democrat, Joseph Ziegler, is calling on the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, to now appoint a special counsel to oversee this Hunter Biden criminal probe because, quote, sweetheart deals shouldn't be handed out like candy. Now, sadly, that's likely not going to happen. Merrick Garland seems to believe that his job is to shield Joe Biden and his family, not uphold the U.S. Constitution. Now, this is more and more evidence of corruption is continuing to emerge against the entire Biden family. But most importantly, this really isn't the big Hunter Biden story anymore. This isn't the Jim Biden story or the Jill Biden story. This is about the president, Joe Biden. And on Monday, Hunter's longtime business partner, Devon Archer, he's set to testify before Congress. Now, Miranda Devine of the New York Post, great reporter, she is now telling us that Archer witnessed what are dozens of phone calls between Hunter Biden's foreign business partners, foreign nationals, where the big guy, Joe Biden, was looped into the meeting on a speakerphone. Why? To impress Hunter's clients and seal the deal. Now, remember, Joe Biden swore that he never once spoke to his son about his foreign business dealings. As it turns out, Biden actively participated and then clearly lied about it to the American people over and over again, both as a candidate and as a president. So again, this is not a story about private citizen Hunter Biden. Joe and Hunter are tied at the hip on all of this. And according to my sources tonight, Hunter recently lived at the White House. He gets Secret Service detail. Look at that. He got a federal motorcade, as Miranda Devine points out. The Secret Service even rented a $30,000 a month house next to Hunter when he lived in Malibu, California. But Biden refuses to offer any Secret Service protection for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's, what, 20% in the polls, despite serious threats against him and prior assassinations of both his father and his uncle, then President JFK? So let's be clear here. Hunter is no ordinary private citizen, and this scandal is not about crack cocaine and the wild life of a crack addict. This is all about public corruption tied to Joe, the president of the United States, and a complicit Department of Justice. That's why these two committees, Jim Jordan's committee, the House Judiciary Committee, and James Comer's committee, the House Oversight Committee, these committees are working in tandem, looking at the Biden family syndicate and how the FBI and the DOJ have been politicized and weaponized and are being used to protect the whole family enterprise. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.